an experienced war veteran, after going through a brutal war, decides to return to his homeland. He walks from Laos across vast distances to return to Moscow. On the way, passing through a small town, he accidentally violates an unwritten local law. Ask but you do not report. Two low-ranking policemen in uniform stop him and demand to show his papers. While one searches his luggage, he seems to notice something hidden inside the man's coat. The man quickly lifts his coat to reveal a dagger. Both policemen are shocked. "What is this? I have a license to carry a knife." The man calmly replies. Despite the man asserting he has a permit, the two policemen still demand he surrender the knife, and when they pull it out to inspect, they realize it is a Nepalese army kukuri. Without further explanation, they handcuff him. Looking around to see no one nearby, one of them strikes him with a baton. Unfortunately, the man, with quick reflexes, easily dodges it. The fat one charges to hit him, but he leans to the right and simultaneously pushes the other policeman down. Seeing he is no match, both draw their guns and force him into the car. He does not want to make things difficult, so he obediently turns and steps in, but at that moment, the fat one swings his baton hard into his back. The man does not make a sound. He only looks at him with deadly eyes. These two policemen have no idea that they will pay a heavy price for their actions. Brought to the station, they confiscate all his belongings and handcuff him again. Calling this a police station is no better than calling it a gang's den. They deliberately disturb public order and extort protection money from locals, then share it with their accomplices. At this moment, a captain enters the cell, asking the man why he didn't answer his question. The man remains silent, so he strikes him with a baton. The man only emits a low, muffled groan. Unexpectedly, this guy is very stubborn. This further excites the captain's sadistic tendencies. He swings the baton near the man's face. "Only when permitted. Can anyone look straight at me? Who do you think you are?" The man contemptuously looks at him. He has never seen anyone more arrogant than himself. The rain of baton strikes falls on the man, yet he remains unafraid. The captain then pulls out an electric baton, unable to tolerate it any longer. The man charges at the captain, then sweeps his leg and knocks the officer down. The captain is about to go berserk when other officers rush in to intervene. He does not know his life is in danger. They are summoned to the deputy director's office. Seeing the sharp kukuri, the foolish leader asks him why he brought such a knife into their town. The man calmly says just one word: enemy. The leader finds it amusing. At that moment, the corpulent director enters the office. Throughout the entire station, only this director has a bit of sense. He orders the man's handcuffs removed, then checks his identification documents. The man's name is Samanov, a lieutenant colonel of the Special Forces. Upon hearing this name, the cowardly officers almost wet themselves. Do they regret their previous actions yet? The director immediately orders his subordinates to return all belongings to Samanov, thinking everything is settled, but the director takes Samanov's BA megaphone to listen to the main music. This foolish action almost causes the entire station to be destroyed. Samanov steps out of the office and meets a beautiful girl. He feels like he has seen her somewhere before. Shortly after leaving the gate, Samanov suddenly remembers his BA megaphone left in the director's office. This treasure cannot be lost. Whenever he is upset, he relies on it to feel better. He immediately returns to the office and witnesses the director committing lewd acts toward the girl from earlier. Seeing the girl curled up in a corner, helpless and frightened, Samanov freezes in place. He originally did not want to interfere, but he still grabs the BA megaphone, pulls out the cord, and tightly wraps it around it. The director approaches. While he clamps the BA megaphone between his index and middle fingers, slowly spins around. The Russian Maroon Beret paratrooper is indeed formidable. This strike carries at least tens of kilograms of force. The chief officer, weighing over 200 kilograms, now lies helpless on the floor. Samanov delivers another strike to the chief's forehead. The police chief collapses to the ground. Samanov knows exactly what to do next. He picks up an ashtray and pulls out a phone cord, not forgetting to take a lighter, then drags the frightened girl out of the office. He walks calmly, as if nothing ever happened. A police officer tries to check the room. Samanov immediately pulls the ashtray from his pocket. As soon as the officer opens the door, the ashtray strikes him on the head. Seeing Samanov holding the phone cord, the officers in the station finally realize. They see Samanov trying to leave and pull out their guns to stop him, but are stunned by the thrown phone cord, which hits them. The remaining officers are quickly defeated by Samanov. The beautiful girl's eyes widen in shock. How could these officers be opponents of a special forces soldier? Before leaving, Samanov disarms the entire police station, then takes the girl's hand and leads her outside. But they don't know where the back door is, and accidentally enter the police break room. The officers here are the same ones who caused trouble for Samanov before, when he had previously dragged the girl out. He decides to teach these bastards a lesson. This is a live demonstration of a low-angle attack. These rookie officers cannot even survive one round. Another young officer, seeing the chaos, tries to rush in to stop him, but is caught by Samanov with a 360-degree arm lock, then flips him 180 degrees and he falls to the ground. Samanov continues to pull the girl to the foot of the stairs. They encounter the deputy director. Before he can understand what is happening, Samanov delivers a monkey-style strike, then punches him directly on the right temple. He charges forward relentlessly. No one can withstand Samanov's 3 moves. He doesn't want to kill these people. Otherwise, with the tactics he has used on the battlefield, not a single officer would survive. Outside, Samanov politely lights a cigarette for an officer, then gives him the police chief's lighter. Tears still linger in the girl's eyes. On the way, she is extremely tense. She knows she has caused a disaster. If caught, those vile officers would surely torture her to death. She tells Samanov to leave town quickly, and not to worry about her anymore. At the same time, the captain wakes up. The first thing he does is call his team to hunt Samanov. Never before has he endured such a humiliation. He is determined to reclaim his lost honor. The girl does not want to involve Samanov anymore. Seeing an officer rushing toward her, she pushes him to the ground. Seeing the girl refuse to leave, behind them, police cars are approaching. Samanov has no choice but to speed away. Police cars chase closely behind. They are determined to take down Samanov, firing frantically. Samanov swerves to avoid the bullets. Timing perfectly, he executes a spectacular turn, then turns into a narrow street. The police continue to pursue relentlessly, but their shooting skills are too poor. All shots miss the target. Samanov drives the bike down the slope mid-air. He jumps off the motorcycle toward the bulldozer. The captain fires all his ammo, then pulls out a revolver. In the end, he fires all the revolver bullets, yet not a single shot hits. With such shooting skills, I don't understand how he became a police officer. Just as he tries to retreat into his car, the bulldozer rushes forward, crushing the front hood of his vehicle. Samanov controls the bulldozer, using the bucket to slam directly into the car. The captain orders his driver to reverse immediately. Unexpectedly, a truck suddenly rushes from behind. The entire police station is visited by a stranger, causing chaos of epic proportions. After inspecting the scene, the police chief cannot help but feel fear. What kind of person have I angered? At this moment, a subordinate reports, this person is a Special Forces operative from the Maroon Unit, Beret, who has participated in several secret missions, twice awarded the Medal of Honor for serving the country, and has received several other medals for bravery in combat. Courageous deeds. Meanwhile, Samanov speeds across the mountain tops. He knows he has angered these pests. They will never let him go. If they want to play this game, it's all or nothing. The foolish police chief has no idea that his wrong decision has put the entire station in danger, to the point of death. Let's see how the Maroon Beret Special Forces counter an entire police station's pursuit without using a single bullet. Now he is cornered in a ruined area in the forest. First, he finds a matchbox and some electrical cable. Discarding rusty nails and a few planks of wood, On the police side, meanwhile, they are still complaining about having to camp outdoors in the rain while hunting criminals. Little do they know that Samanov is crafting a secret weapon. He wraps nails around the ends of wooden sticks using electrical wire, finally using a match to burn the wire tip to secure it, creating the sea god's nail sticks. All of them are quickly made this way. He places them at various locations. Then he finds a small wooden house, searching for anything usable. A round metal plate and a hidden passage. Finished, he takes out the BA megapixel calmly, waiting for the enemy to take the bait. Not long ago, Special Forces Samanov, defending a beautiful girl, caused chaos in the entire police station, even killing 2 pursuing officers. To cover up the evidence, while police camped near the forest, at the same time, they prepared to deploy sniffer dogs and a helicopter. However, the police chief dared not call in special forces, fearing his misdeeds would be exposed. But they didn't know that all their actions were being monitored by Samanov. He mapped out their attack route and deployed his tactical plan. By nightfall, 2 arrogant officers drank some brandy and decided to act alone. They planned to use the darkness for an ambush, hoping to catch Samanov quickly and gain glory. Passing through a forest, they saw a fire ahead. Unexpectedly, they found their target so easily. They wisely turned off their flashlights and carefully approached from behind. Inside, "What's the situation? Where are you?" The reckless officer, just as he rushed in, was struck on the forehead by a plank. His partner hurriedly ran to check and had his weapon kicked away by Samanov. The other officer tried to resist and was struck by a fire stick, crawling to the ground. Samanov did not kill them. Instead, he gathered firewood and forced them to handcuff themselves by the fire. The 2 officers' minds were still dazed, not understanding what happened. Just then, Samanov told them to relay a message to the lieutenant. "Tell your lieutenant not to look for me anymore. There's no need." The next morning, the police chief noticed that the guards had disappeared. He didn't have time to dwell on it. Immediately, he ordered all units to take action. Seeing the wooden house, the whole team rushed in. They opened the door and realized all of the people inside were their own, bruised and battered. The bald guy tried to save face, claiming he almost caught Samanov, but fell into a trap. Then he whispered into the police chief's ear, saying the colonel doesn't need to search for him. It's unnecessary. The police chief, furious, turned purple with anger and slapped him hard. Then, to quickly find Samanov, he ordered all units to line up, expanding the search area to hunt for Samanov, who moved nimbly through the forest. While the police struggled step by step, suddenly, 2 officers stepped into animal traps. Samanov immediately picked up a nail stick, which he had prepared, and threw it accurately at the target, then quickly changed positions. Hearing the commotion, the police panicked, raising their guns and firing wildly, almost hitting their own comrades. Already, 3 officers had fallen. He dealt with them as if they were ants. The police realized the terrifying skill of Samanov. It seemed his presence was everywhere in the forest. No sooner had he spoken than a nail stick flew out of nowhere and struck an officer. "Everyone chase him, while Zubov and I stay here. You stand right here, waiting for Samanov's special instructions. Act quickly." Seeing the target, the police chief led the team in pursuit. Samanov is a guerrilla warfare expert. The forest is like home to him. He quickly vanished from their sight. After a round, Samanov returned, systematically taking down the remaining officers, guarding the injured. His actions were fast and decisive. Hearing the commotion, his allies ran to check. Unexpectedly, Samanov disarmed him and pressed a knife to his neck. He ordered the injured to be taken to the vehicle and forbade them from returning. Clearly, Samanov did not want to kill them. Meanwhile, the police chief led the team to the single log bridge. The deputy police chief scolded him for not calling the special forces, as if he didn't value their lives. These words only made the police chief angrier. He told the deputy to scout ahead. The bridge was made of 2 logs. Walking on it was very precarious. One slip and they could fall into the river. Samanov had been waiting there for a long time. Bullets fired in succession still missed Samanov, so the whole group played hide-and-seek in the forest. The deputy, slow in both hands and feet, was eliminated. This time the police chief was wiser. "If I can't find you, I'll just wait here for you to come." Samanos ran into the forest, while the police chief suddenly appeared in front. It seemed he still underestimated this guy. Samanos' nail stick was ready, just as he threw it. The police chief's gun fired, hitting him directly. The police chief gritted his teeth and endured the pain, then fled the scene. He was sweating profusely, almost meeting his end. Seeing the projectile above his head, he carefully stepped over the wooden planks, but he didn't realize Samanos hadn't gone far, was right behind him. This was a battle between gun and knife, between police and special forces. Right hand holding the gun, left hand removed the magazine and pulled back the bolt, ejecting the bullet. Just as the bullet flew out, Samanos. He grabbed him and slapped the police chief hard. Classic Russian style. Never anger a soldier, even a maroon beret. The police chief was beaten until blood ran from his ear. "You still don't understand? Are you done playing? Take the injured and forget about me. Act as if I never existed. Understood? I'm not joking. If you don't, more people will die." The police chief, used to arrogance, even with a knife at his throat, showed no fear. Seeing the chief's stubbornness, Samanos punched him down and left alone. The police chief fled down the mountain. Someone was already waiting there, already annoyed, and now saw a guy in black sunglasses acting cool, looking impressive in front of him, so he angrily left. This person was Colonel Demi, of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and Samanos' trainer. No one understood Samanos better than him. Only in extremely special circumstances would Samanos lose control like that. He advised the police chief to stop. Forget about Samanos. This was Samanos' chance to let them survive. If Samanos wanted to kill, no one could leave this forest alive. The police chief didn't listen. He sent Colonel Demi away. At that moment, he received news that a helicopter would arrive in 15 minutes. This made him even more confident. He ordered everyone to surround the area to prevent Samanos from appearing at any moment, while he personally entered the forest to eliminate Samanos. Hearing the sound of the helicopter, Samanos began to hide. The enemy had air superiority. He could only keep running, dodging the incoming bullets. Ahead was a cliff, no time to think. Samanos jumped down, landing and lowering his height. Don't worry, even if he got shot, no one could survive that. The police chief was still uneasy. He ordered the helicopter to keep circling over the water for several minutes, only turning back when nearly out of fuel. Samanos originally didn't want to kill, yet these people acted so cruelly toward him. One could say they succeeded in angering a beast. No one knew how long he drifted. An old man eventually found Samanos on the shore. The old man's kindness saved him, bringing him home, along with the old man's granddaughter. She was the girl Samanos had rescued from the station. Seeing Samanos gravely wounded, the girl felt extremely guilty. It was all because of her that he was so badly hurt. The old man removed the bullet from Samanos, while the girl mustered all her courage to stitch his wound. That night, Samanos regained consciousness. To avoid involving the grandfather and granddaughter, he planned to leave that very night. This time, the girl decided to go with him, because she had no way back. If the police chief found her, she would certainly be killed. However, Samanos' health was very weak. To ensure safety, they decided to rest for one night in a hut near a bamboo grove. Early next morning, some uninvited guests came to the old man's house. They carried weapons, faces full of hostility. The old man did not welcome them, but one of them shot secretly. These guys were the escaped convicts the police were hunting, and Samanos heard the gunfire. An unavoidable battle was about to break out. The robber didn't even understand what was happening. When he was already shot down, even if he died at the hands of Maroon Beret paratroopers, it wasn't unjust. But why did they give Samanos, a warrior, the chance to unleash slaughter? Here's what happened. These 5 escaped convicts were violent and aggressive, passing through a small town. They broke into the old man's house, cold-bloodedly killing him. The gunfire alarmed Samanos, who was resting in the horse stable, gave his dagger to the girl, then went out alone to assess the situation. At first, he pretended to be weak, blending into the group of robbers, but the girl hiding in the attic was discovered by a blonde man. He winked at the girl, then went out, locking the door, tricking the guy holding the head, then winked at Samanos. It turned out these people were wanted criminals, sought by the police. They planned to escape by water, but the boat engine broke down. Samanosuke voluntarily offered to help repair it. The leader looked at Samanosuke's hands and thought he knew his trade, so he agreed, ordering the blonde man and another to watch him. But removing the engine required tools. Samanos wanted to use this opportunity to leave, go to the horse stable to rescue the girl, but the blonde man blocked him. He said he could help him find the tools. Samanosuke had no other choice. He had to let the blonde man go to the horse stable. The blonde man called the girl hiding in the attic down. After talking for a while, his true nature was revealed. But the girl's fierce resistance made him lose interest. Angrily, he hung the girl up. In her panic, the girl kicked him in a sensitive spot, then took the chance to run into another room. At this moment, she remembered the dagger Samanos had given her. The blonde man also stepped in, carrying a trident. The girl seized the right moment and stabbed his leg, then unleashed a series of precise sword techniques. A girl who was originally gentle, weak in hands and legs, was gradually forced onto the path of killing. At this moment, Samanos, after taking care of the guard, immediately ran to the horse stable. He saw the girl with blood on her face. Just then, another robber entered. Hearing the commotion, Samanos turned around. The two almost simultaneously grabbed their gun barrels, then each kicked the other. Though the other man was bigger, in combat skill, he was just an amateur. The robber tried to wrestle Samanos down. Samanos kicked him away. As he picked up the gun, Samanos grabbed a nearby sickle and stabbed it straight into his heart. Facing these ruthless villains, Samanos spared no mercy, directly switching to massacre mode. He didn't hesitate with the robber holding the hostage either. Police and special forces stormed the scene. Seeing the bodies of the 5 robbers, they no longer needed to waste effort capturing them. Seeing the Kubri dagger, the chief knew Samanos was still alive. He angrily grabbed the girl and forced her to tell him where Samanos was. He had no idea that Samanos was nearby, observing everything. What he was doing to the girl, he would later pay for it tenfold to force Samanos to appear. The chief forcibly put the girl into the car. At this moment, Samanos suddenly appeared. Just as the chief was about to shoot, the girl pushed him away. When he looked back, Samanos had disappeared. Hearing gunfire, the Special Forces commander appeared just in time, scolding the chief of police, helping the girl escape from being tortured. This time, the Special Forces did not capture the 5 escaped criminals alive. Instead, they encountered a more dangerous man. The superiors ordered the Special Forces to capture this terrorist alive. Samanos ran straight to an abandoned building. The commander led the Special Forces in pursuit. Samanos did not want to fight anymore, raising both hands to the wall in a surrender gesture, but the opponents remained aggressive. They even intended to use a taser to capture him. Hearing the electric current, he knew he had to act. He is the toughest man of his nation, a warrior. Even an entire Special Forces battalion could do nothing to him. I surrender. Kneeling down, no Special Forces member could withstand 3 of his moves. At this moment, the Special Forces commander ran over. At such close range, being aimed at with a 6-pronged gun, no matter how fast he was, he could not be faster than the bullet. So he threw the ACC gun on him into the water, preparing to surrender. Unexpectedly, the commander put away his weapon, saying that the superior's order was to capture him alive. Perhaps the commander overestimated himself. Unexpectedly, the moment he acted, a combatant of top-tier skill like him, in the Special Forces team, was immediately defeated. Without even a chance to resist, Samanos easily deflected the hook punches, then launched a Black Tiger strike, hitting the commander's chest, causing him to stagger. Followed by another punch, the commander tried a move to subdue Samanos. but he countered, knocking him face down. At this moment, the commander drew his six-pronged gun. Unexpectedly, Samanos had already taken his grenade. Samanos did not want to kill innocents, so he saved the commander who fell into the water and escaped through the water pipe himself. But the chief of police would never let him go. This was Samanos' territory, so he knew every corner perfectly. This water pipe had only one exit. The chief of police led his subordinates to tightly block the exit. Soon, Samanos appeared. But these guys were terrible shots. With so many of them, no one managed to hit him. Samanos ran at full speed into a small wooden house. A fierce battle broke out on both sides. But something strange happened. The gun barrels emitted thick black smoke, yet the wooden boards of the house remained intact. Could it be that this house was made of granite? Seeing that they still couldn't take down Samanos, the chief of police grabbed a rocket launcher and fired directly at the house. Flames erupted violently. Looking at the burning wooden house, the chief of police confidently said, "It's over. We'll find his body before nightfall." At this moment, the general came to visit the Special Forces commander, who was in the hospital. A woman suddenly rushed in. It was the girl that Samanos had always protected. Through her story, the general gradually understood the full story. The chief of police returned to the office and saw Colonel Demi waiting there. He waited for Samanos to leave with him because he had a premonition. Only by being next to the chief of police could he wait for Samanos. His soldier was gone, leaving only his music player. Heads will find heads eventually. Colonel Demi advised the chief of police to drink some brandy. Best to finish it all, so that when Samanos returns to retrieve the megapixel BA, he will not feel fear. On the other side, the police discovered a secret tunnel. As soon as they stepped down, a gun was pointed at their faces, demanding, "Hands up!" Samanos, dressed in a police uniform, remained calm. He walked to the car to take the driver's phone of the driver. As the driver stepped out, he struck him with a punch, snatched the police car and sped away like the wind. Two policemen tried to chase in another car, only to be knocked out by Samanos. The guard eating noodles. As the king of cops planned to place a few more bets, the door suddenly was smashed to pieces. The target was clear. Samanos headed straight to the chief of police. By this time, the outside had been surrounded by special forces. Colonel Demi stepped inside and spoke to Samanos, telling him that an entire army awaited him outside, only lacking tanks. He wanted to persuade him to surrender and return to Moscow, but Samanos would never do that. He could not tolerate others, choking him while asking Han how gentle he is. Do you like it? That is the plight of every citizen in this city. We are not ordinary people. We do not live in a fortress. We must take responsibility for our own lives, and for this world. If my team sacrificed themselves in vain, dying for these scums. Surprisingly, Samanos let the chief of police go, while he stayed inside the house, preparing to face the special forces. At this moment, the general arrived at the scene, ordering everyone to retreat. Just as they were about to arrest the chief of police, his subordinate suddenly stepped forward, taking the girl as a hostage. The chief of police remained stubborn, believing himself unbeatable, boasting about what he had done for this town. At that moment, Samanos emerged from the smoke. This was the man who arrived here 3 days ago. Look at the chaos he has caused. I wasn't happy, huh? Now I'll find you some fun. Major, don't rush. Against everyone's expectations, Major Demi released the girl. The small town returned to peace. Receiving orders from Moscow, Samanos and Colonel Demi returned to Moscow together. The girl kept watching the car. As Samanos disappeared from sight, the movie ended here. The value of a movie lies in its reputation, while the value of a review lies in the impression it gives. Today's story ends here. Thank you for watching. What did you think of the movie? Please leave your comments below.